2016, the city is New York. United Nations delegates from the countries of China, France, America, Australia, South Africa, and the United Kingdom have gathered within a Starbucks, a coffee house, to discuss global sustainability. The delegates have met in New York City, a hub of intellectualism and innovation. Coffee houses throughout the centuries have been meeting places of philosophical and intellectual discourse, ranging from early American coffee houses in which revolutionaries met to discuss the great thoughts of John Locke and Thomas Jefferson, to cafes in France in which great artists met to discuss politics and art. In the new millennium, Starbucks represents the coffee houses of those old days. Not only do people have the ability to meet in person, but have the opportunity to converse with people worldwide due to the advent of technology. Each delegate will discuss problems specific to their countries pertaining to a wide array of topics, including carbon emissions, as well as propose potential solutions to work toward a more sustainable future. Please listen as they converse with one another.
I'm happy we were able to meet for this important meeting of the UN at a coffee shop in New York. The history and homely atmosphere of a coffee shop make this meeting more interesting yet relaxing. I am Dr. Pippa Imudingo, and I'm here on behalf of my motherland, Australia, to discuss sustainability.
Hello, fellow delegates. My name is Katie Heron, and I am representing South Africa.
Hello, all. My name is Lee, and I'm here on behalf of the People's Republic of China.
Hello, my name is Oceana de la Baguette, representing France.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to New York. I'm Swan Ronson, UN delegate and former National Security Advisor to the Bush administration.
Greetings, my friends. I am England's representative for this discussion, Sir Charles of Wigglesworth. Thank you for agreeing to meet this afternoon. I do believe we have a great deal to discuss prior to the General Assembly tomorrow. Now, as we get started, since introductions have concluded, I think the representative from Australia had some important opening points on sustainable agriculture.
Too right. My country of Australia has been discussing current and pressing issues surrounding the environment. An issue high on our list is sustainable agriculture because it is a pressing issue for Australia at the moment and affects everyone. With an improvement in sustainability, businesses are able to improve the economy with little harm to the environment. Sustainable businesses decrease the cost of business and improve productivity. Sustainability can also create new opportunities. What do you think about this, Lee?
While that may be, my country has agricultural areas. Our biggest concerns lie with implementing green energy. Our cities produce so much pollution, we need to figure out how to reduce it without restricting the lives of our people.
Lee, good segue from general sustainability topics to a very pressing topic, the implementation of green energy. By the end of the century, over 180 million people in sub-Saharan Africa alone could die as a result of climate change. Unpredictable rainfall patterns, lower crop yields, soaring food prices, and dwindling natural resources are already causing increased human migration, tension, and conflict. It is therefore imperative that we work towards creating a more sustainable future. A big reason for climate change is the use of fossil fuels, such as coal. Currently, an estimated 93% of South Africa's electricity comes from coal. There are presently 13 operational coal-fired power stations in this country. In addition, Eskom, our power utility, is currently constructing 2 new coal-fired power plants. The burning of fossil fuels releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere.
Delegate Heron, I agree that the most important issue facing the world today is our carbon emissions. If we do nothing, the temperature will rise by 5 degrees Celsius by the end of the century. It is up to governments and people to limit our greenhouse gases and keep the rise of temperatures to 1.5 degrees Celsius.
Now, what exactly is a Celsius?
Right. Well then, moving forward, I must say I agree with the representative from France. Curtailing worldwide carbon emissions are utterly imperative. And I must say, China, that while most of us are working to reduce our air pollution, it is a bit troubling to see your country's continued emphasis on economic growth as opposed to environmental standards.
The People's Republic of China regrets that a few of its cities produce more emissions than is good for the environment.
A few.
However, we believe our economy in its current state is more important than limiting carbon dioxide emissions. We already started the path towards reducing pollution since before the 2008 Olympics to make the air better for the visitors.
Lee, I disagree. If CO2 emissions continue to rise, we will have more pressing issues in the state of our economies. Has anyone considered transitioning to nuclear energy? While governments around the world are rethinking nuclear energy after the Japan nuclear disaster, South Africa is planning to build new nuclear power stations. However, South Africa is poorly equipped to take on this technological challenge. My country lacks both the funding strategy and the qualified staff to take on the nuclear expansion program. Furthermore, after 60 years of nuclear power, there is still no solution for safe, long-term storage of radioactive waste anywhere in the world. The energy choices being made by the government regarding this nuclear proposal will fundamentally affect our country's ability to combat climate change and create a clean, safe, and secure energy future for all of South Africans and the planet.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, South Africa, but there are much safer ways to generate power. For example, the use of gas boilers instead of oil-powered generators. They provide heat with 20% less carbon emissions. And generators can also be powered by wind, solar, and vegetable oil. Not to mention, a big step that people can take is eating seasonably and eating strictly from local suppliers.
I agree with Lee in regards to greenhouse gas emissions, though. Australia has the most greenhouse gas emissions per capita, and while our energy efficiency is improving, greenhouse gas emissions remain a prominent issue in our country.
Now, although the United States would like to be a part of any environmental resolutions, they must be agreeable to Congress, or else the EPA will not be directed to comply.
Which, Mr. Ronson, I'm afraid is a serious problem. If the United States wants to be a key player in setting any sort of global environmental policy, then it must be willing to abide by the standards that it dictates to others, whether your Congress finds them agreeable or not. You see, preserving air quality and reducing greenhouse gases, that is a global issue, something that is far above any sort of petty national politics.
The United States government, sir, is one of laws and not men. One man cannot and should not be able to sway the fate of an entire country, even on matters of international importance. Perhaps your parliament is willing to bend the knee to international pressures, but the United States shall not compromise its democratic values based on the decisions of a committee. If anything is to be done, it shall be done the right way.
Typical American insolence and exceptionalism.
Tell me, old friend, do you speak German?
Can't say that I do. I never found a taste for the language.
You're welcome. Twice. Now let us stop bickering. France, do you have something to say?
Sustainability to us means reducing our consumption of resources, reusing products, and recycling waste. What are each of your countries doing to accomplish this?
In my country, we acknowledge the importance of resources, especially our natural resources. We are currently trying to establish new innovative ideas to reduce the wastefulness of our cities, especially in regards to wasting water and wasting food.
No, I do believe we have a bit of common ground there, as it were. You see, as limiting global food waste is one of England's primary objectives. Personally, I believe that our domestic war on waste program has been a smashing success. You see, in only 2 years, by disposing of best before and limiting sell-by labeling, we have unveiled more on-the-go recycling and created a rather impressive network of anaerobic digestion plants. We have prevented over 137,000 tons of food waste and saved people of England approximately £300,000. Mr. Ronson, does the United States have any sort of comprehensive plan to reduce food waste?
Well, now, the USDA estimates that 31% of food in America is wasted by the consumer. Now, plans have been proposed to reduce food waste, but it's hard to create a law that forces people not to throw out food without being overbearing. However, one solution I would propose is an international standardization for expiration labeling on food packaging. Many items are marked with a sell-by date rather than a true expiration date, which confuses consumers and leads to more food being wasted prematurely. I'm sure that if a resolution was to be drafted on this matter, it would receive domestic support if it were worded in the proper manner. Does anyone else have anything to propose, or should we adjourn?
I believe that all of the proposed solutions have the potential to steer our planet towards a future of sustainability. However, it is getting late and I have a flight to catch. I appreciate all of you taking the time out of your busy schedules to discuss sustainability in New York City. Sitting here in this coffee house, I'm reminded of the full coffee houses I've had throughout the centuries and of all the great artists and thinkers that have congregated in this exact same manner. While we may not be discussing art or philosophy, if we do not continue to have discussions about sustainability, we won't even have the opportunity to think about art because we won't have a planet to stand upon.